It's Sunday night, and the mood in Fayetteville is noticeably lighter.
Hey, Coach Allen, let me get that jacket off for you. $5.
You like this one?
Yeah, $5. I got us all like that in my pocket.
Yesterday's 24-7 win over SEC foe Auburn snapped a 4-game losing streak and ended the mounting frustration surrounding the Razorback program.
Should have had a hat on. I know you're more cold up here.
You're making fun of me not having hair, huh?
I won 3 state championships in high school, and so winning was normal. Last year as a starter, we won 11 games, lost 2. Winning was normal. This year, I think it makes you understand the importance of a win now. That's what's unique for me this year is you kind of cherish that and say, hey, this is fun. This is why you play the game. And it gives you that ambition, that fire to, hey, let's go get another one.
They bring the tight end in motion. They give it to DJ over left tackle at the goal line. Touchdown, Arkansas.
You know what? It's a game of emotion, and when those things happen, guys get excited. You want to see that.
Blitz is on the way. They've got Mosley flush. Trey Flowers chasing him down back at the 19-yard line.
But those things are created by us, not something that you wait for. And our guys got to understand that you create those things and you got to build it.
Mosley in the shotgun, gets the snap, looks over the middle, fires toward the end zone, intercepted by Turner in the end zone, and that'll be a touchback.
Wins, they're not easy to come by, especially in this conference, but yeah, it really makes you appreciate, all the wins that we've had in the past, and can't take anything for granted, and whenever you win, there's no better feeling.
Mosley gets the snap, reads the blitz, fires into the corner of the end zone, throws short, and it is intercepted. Ross Rasner, Linton's the fullback, Dennis Johnson's the tailback. Dennis gets the call left side, fighting for the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown, Arkansas. Johnson, the running back, reverse. Hogs are going to throw it out of the reverse to the back of the end zone. It's complete. Touchdown, Arkansas. Javonte Herndon.
Losing, we didn't really know how to cope with it or deal with it. So once we finally got it again, it was like we don't want to go back to that losing feeling. We want to stay here with this winning feeling. So it's in a sense motivation.
And Arkansas gets a much-needed victory today. It was not picture perfect, but the Razorbacks are happy to have it, I promise you.
Listen to me very careful. The only time in your life that you're going to read your press clippings is when you get to be my age and you can't play anymore. You got it? Those press clippings become a lot better. The stories get a lot longer. You're not there yet. You're nowhere close. And that's a great thing. So don't even think about it. People say so, just say thank you. Boom, hey, we got a big one this week. That's it, because we've moved on, correct?
Yes, sir.
Whatever we did, we got to do more, okay? Get a break, get out of here.
Listen up, hey, we got a chance to rattle off a bunch in a row right here. Take it serious, have a good week of practice. Go, win on 3, win on 3, 1, 2, 3, win!
The win over Auburn has come at a price. Senior linebacker and leading tackler Alonzo Highsmith was lost for the season due to a foot injury.
Injury report from this last, y'all kind of know where you are. You know where you are? Yep, you're on the freaking sideline.
Arkansas's ever-growing injury list also includes their other defensive captain, senior Tenarius Wright.
Hey, I'm sorry you're not going to be out there with us this week. That just comes to show whoever's in has to go in and make plays. And everybody in this room can go make plays just like you did last week. And that was a great effort, and congratulations to all of you. Now, Offensive Showtime Award. 17 rushes, 76 yards, 4 catches for 15 yards, 72 bowl yards, 2 TDs. Dennis Johnson.
While defensive players are disappearing, the hopes of a bowl game have reemerged, along with senior running back Dennis Johnson, who had 17 carries for 76 yards and 2 touchdowns. The diminutive back took a starring role in the victory, as Niall Davis faltered with a stat line that read 3 carries, -4 yards. The situation now begs the question, where is Arkansas's running game headed as they look towards Saturday against 1-5 Kentucky?
Dennis Johnson and Williams running better now. Is it a priority to get Niall Davis back in there this week also, or what's his status right now?
The good thing is we have some depth there and are able to use those guys. It was not necessarily a plan, let's say. Yeah, we were hoping to get Dennis more rushes, but then when you get him in there and he's breaking tackles and doing what he can do, Dennis was having a good day, you want to continue with that. And so that's what we did last week. So, again, hopefully, Niall will be back ready to roll this week.
And good evening. Thank you for joining us. An anchor chair is empty at today's THV tonight.
We are very heartbroken to tell you that Matt Turner passed away last night.
Matt joined today's THV just last month. We immediately felt a kinship to him. His love for family, friends, and Arkansas readily evident in his life every day, especially for his wife Julie and their 10-month-old daughter Presley Bell.
The accident happened last night around 7:30 on Interstate 30, right at the exit to Highway 70 in Saline County.
Matt was on his way to his hometown of Arkadelphia. His wife Julie and little Presley had gone on ahead of him for a weekend family visit. State police say his Tahoe ran off the road, traveling some 400 feet before hitting the concrete base of a road sign.
Now, Matt loved everything about Arkansas. This was home for him and always would be.
His Aunt Kathy created a birthday video for him a couple of years ago and shared it with us. Growing up in Arkadelphia, he spent plenty of time getting into mischief with his brother Andy and making lots of memories with his mom Lisa and dad Gary.
Now, Matt's dad passed away a few years ago from leukemia. He was a longtime pastor of 3rd Street Baptist Church in Arkadelphia. Matt's mom still lives in their hometown.
You know, you couldn't keep Matt off the ball field. He played baseball and football for Arkadelphia High School. That took him to quarterback for Southern Mississippi. And after a year in Hattiesburg, he transferred back home to quarterback Ouachita Baptist University, where he met his wife, Julie.
Now, straight out of college, KNWA in Northwest Arkansas hired Matt into the sports department, and his focus turned Razorback red.
The year 2003.
They're undefeated, the crowd going crazy.
But Matt's reach would broaden into news, and he'd spend the next 9 years on the anchor desk there.
During that time, he hosted statement debates for Senate and congressional races, covered breaking news, wrote, shot, and produced countless stories, as well as documentaries. And he knew newsmakers throughout Arkansas, but he always had time for a bit of fun.
So I have a referee here. I don't know if you can see back there behind us. There he is. He's throwing.
It's a personal foul for.
This is one of the referees from the Arkansas-Florida game. He doesn't have a job right now, so we brought him on. You did it.
Oh, man, that's a lot. Matt's great personality and sense of humor made the work days go by faster, both at KNWA and right here at today's THV.
And he took pride in the many relationships he's built with so many Arkansans, from politicians to neighbors to sports figures. Razorback Athletic Director Jeff Long released this statement saying, quote, "I am shocked and deeply saddened by the news of Matt Turner's passing. He was one of the great guys in TV news. Matt was a respected television journalist, passionate Razorback fan, and most importantly, a dedicated husband and father. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Turner family, his colleagues at THV and KNWA, and his many friends throughout our state."
Now, Matt grew up watching KTHV, and when we brought him on board, he told us it was his dream job.
As to how Matt felt about Arkansas, he can tell you best.
I was born and raised in Arkansas, and I've got to tell you that I love living right here in the natural state.
Now, we spent the last few weeks creating some things we think best describes how THV feels and fits into Arkansas, and Matt modeled those things every day.
He worked hard to make a difference for you every day.
And here's just a peek at what went on both on air and behind the scenes when Matt Turner walked in.
Inch right here. Right here. Here. All right, good deal.
You need some props.
Literally. Need some props.
Yeah. We need sunglasses.
Where were our sunglasses?
Yeah? Just a little whistle? Yes, whistle.
Well, Chief Meteorologist Ed Buckner with first look at your forecast. What's the big story today for you?
Weather-wise, or maybe not.
In a THV update, a federal court has now denied a request to a new procedure, literally changing the way some surgeons are now able to operate. Right here, a prescription drop-off box 24/7. It's some guys right here behind me who are hard at work. They are trying to do everything possible to help those who go to bed hungry each and every night.
A lot of great pictures there.
Those, I've seen things that I've never seen in your pictures. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Police say if you have any information about that deer, you're encouraged to contact them immediately.
Because they want him for the next.
That's a hit. That's a hit and run. Yeah.
I like how you mentioned OBU is undefeated.
That's my school. We're going to talk to this guy right here about the Ducks Unlimited Banquet. It's a great evening. Stick around.
They say that animals are a good judge of character, and this next clip proves it's true. Joey really took a liking to Matt.
Hey, Joey. You want to go up? There you go. There you go, Joey. Oh, it's a good kitty. That's a good kitty, Joey.
The outpouring of support is both overwhelming and a great comfort here. On our THV Facebook page, Tiffany writes, heartbroken over this tragic loss. We welcomed Matt into our home, and he was a wonderful addition to our beloved THV family. Also praying for his family and co-workers during this very difficult time.
And Amy writes, the news was mentioned at my church this morning. We paused and offered a prayer for his family. We pray for God's peace on them during this time.
Jacob knows his family and says Matt was a great man. I know he is sitting by his father's side. If there is a lake in heaven, I know he and his father, Gary Turner, are on that lake fishing.
Funeral arrangements not yet set, but we know they are setting up a fund for the family in lieu of flowers, and details on that will be available Tuesday. Your comments, of course, will no doubt also be huge comfort to Julie, Lisa, Andy, and of course little Presley in the future.
And they issued a statement saying Matt was a man of integrity and had a strong faith in God. While we are deeply saddened and feel a sense of great loss, we know that God will pull us through this very difficult time.
And they go on to say, we appreciate the support so many have already given, and ask that you would remember us in your thoughts and prayers. And Ed, we have not heard from you yet tonight, so we would like to kind of just take a moment to share our thoughts, starting with you.
It's hard. It's really hard for all of us, of course, but first time I met Matt was in the newsroom, right? And I went up to shake his hand. Hey, Matt, nice to meet you. I'm Ed. He goes, oh, I can't shake your hand. I'm like, why not? He goes, well, because I don't feel well and I don't want to spread. I've got the flu or something. I can't shake your hand. And he was always thinking about everyone else first. First thing I noticed from him, so I couldn't shake his hand. A few weeks later, we stayed late one night to kind of chat and get to know each other, and we talked about faith and family and God and how much we had in common. And Liz, you were there that night, late one night, and we sat and we talked and we visited, right? And we shared so much about each other. And at the end of that conversation, I don't know how it happened, but we came up with this. He said, you know, I'm a hugger. I like to hug people, and I don't know how that came up. But at the end of that conversation, he reached out to shake my hand. I said, no, we hug, and we had a big man. We had a big man hug in the newsroom. Okay, and I'm like, we hug around here. I'm a hugger too. Yeah. And in the weeks that followed, he would say, you know, Ed, you and I have a lot alike. We're a lot alike. And I'm like, yeah, we really are. Same things going on with family. He would always ask how the family's doing. Okay, and I was so looking forward. I was looking forward to meeting Presley and Julie, and I haven't had that opportunity yet. And unfortunately, when we do get to meet you, Julie, you'll always be a part of this THV family. It'll be under much different circumstances, but you'll also get a hug, because we're huggers here. And I miss my new friend a lot.
I did too, and I'm glad that I was there to have that heart-to-heart with you and Matt. And he was always concerned about fitting in.
Yeah.
And I told him that he was the perfect fit, that he was always the perfect fit.
I told him that too.
And I hope he remembered that. And he just wanted to be liked and loved, and we loved him.
We did. We did. He was always worried about it. And I told him, man, Matt, give it to God. Give your worries to God. He goes, you know, you're right. That's what my dad would have said.
Yeah, and he said, you know, he was always asked me, how are you doing, Liz? How are you doing? And one day I said, oh, it's okay. Well, Liz, I don't like hearing that. If you don't feel well, then I don't feel well.
He cared about everybody else first.
He really did.
What a great father and husband, too.
Yeah, I mean, he constantly talked about Julie and Presley and worried that, you know, he wasn't there because Presley wasn't sleeping, and he wanted to be there for Julie. And I just, I don't really miss you, Matt, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody knows this, but he called me just after he accepted the job here, and he said, it hasn't been announced, I don't want anybody to know, but you got to tell me. Tell me what Craig is like. Tell me what Liz is like.
Wow.
Tell me what Ed is like. And
so that's how he knew about us.
We had so much to do, and it was all cut short.
We missed him.
And it's our loss. It's your loss too, everyone out there who watches, and it's a loss for of course his family, but this entire community as well.
He's just been with us maybe 6 weeks, and we fell in love with him instantly.
Instantly, and our prayers,
his family.
Our prayers are all to their family right now.
We will continue with our regularly scheduled newscast, and know this, that today's CHP, as well as the rest of Arkansas, as Dawn said, is mourning this loss, and we leave you with this memory. Go ahead, Dawn.
As much as Matt loved everything about Arkansas, it pales in comparison, of course, as we've mentioned, to how he felt about Julie and Presley.
And as we pointed out, just ask about him, and his eyes would light up, and then out would come the pictures, a video of Presley learning something new, like walking.
Yes, we saw her walk. We will miss you, Matt, but we know you're making heaven a better and brighter place. We love you.
You know, I love living in Arkansas. Well, I've had a lot of highlights in my lifetime. I have a fantastic wife, Julie, and our sweet baby girl, Presley. Covering news really is in my blood. My goal right now, too, is to make a difference each and every day.
This is never going to be the season that a lot of people thought it was going to be, but it gives Arkansas an opportunity to salvage it by making a bowl game. I would say if they make a bowl game, you salvage what was a disastrous otherwise season. And you could say, well, it's disastrous regardless because, you know, I thought we were going to the national championship game. I don't think that was going to happen even under Bobby Petrino.
The college sports is all we have, and we live and die by the Hogs. This year, we're dying a little more than we're living.
Well, I was getting texts on my phone. I'm not watching your show anymore. I'm not reading the newspaper until they win again. They really won't read the sports page if Arkansas loses because you just can't look at it.
There's no excuse here, all right? Enough excuses. Stop crybabying about, oh, our coach. Get out there and win some football.
Like a yo-yo. I mean, they're up. And when they're down, they are down. I mean, if they're fans, support them. If they're not, quit your booing.
Arkansas fans want anything for their team to be successful, so I think they'll be back, and I think they'll be back with a good attitude for Saturday's game against Kentucky.
In Fayetteville, there's no escaping Arkansas football. And just as impossible to avoid are the injuries that have struck the Razorback defense. 4 starters have missed at least one game, and as the lineup has been reshuffled, underclassmen have been forced to take a bigger role than anticipated when the season began.
The thing about it, it's a part of the game, you know, but we've got great leadership, and that's what, even those guys have been banged up for us, they still sit in there and they watch film with those guys. And if you got good senior leadership, you know it builds.
Against Auburn, the defense had its best game this season, recording 8 sacks and 5 turnovers. With both defensive captains out of the lineup against Kentucky, the responsibility of maintaining the momentum has fallen to senior safety Ross Rasner.
For those younger guys that are around him, he can talk to and get them lined up. Plus, he knows exactly what they're doing behind him because he plays that spot. So he's very important in what we need, and he's doing and he's accepting his role as that leader very well.
If that guard leaves, you never have to cross that tackle.
You understand what I'm saying? The tackle.
I guess I like to think of myself as the quarterback on defense. You know, a bunch of our freshman linebackers are young guys who haven't had many reps. So due to the circumstance, you know, I'm gonna have to be more vocal, and I'm fine with that. And I don't really see any pressure. Just I see a big opportunity and a privilege.
The offense has had its difficulties too. Junior standout running back Niall Davis, an early Heisman contender, is off to a disappointing start.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. We got to meet up at the middle of the field.
Coming off a broken ankle he suffered last season, Davis has averaged just 45 yards a game and scored only 2 touchdowns.
For me, it just, things aren't going how I wanted to go. That's happened to me before. You know, that's not the first time things haven't went my way, but when that happens, you just gotta roll with it.
I'd be frustrated if I was in his shoes right now because he's not doing what everybody expected him to do, and everybody's putting like all this pressure on him to do things that they want him to do.
With Davis's season-long struggles, the offense may have found a short answer in 5'9" Dennis Johnson.
I've always been a small guy. I said when I was in the 8th grade. I've been this size since I was in the 8th grade, so when people start getting taller, I start getting wider.
You go to the field with a certain game plan, and then all of a sudden, Dennis is running through guys and he's making big plays, and so what you do is you say, okay, let's, you know, this horse is running, you know, let's ride this horse.
DJ, the SEC record holder for kick return yards, now finds himself in a battle with his roommate to carry the load against Kentucky.
Right there, same arm, same leg, good.
It just so happens that every year you need a spark and Dennis comes in and gives it to you. And it's at the end of the season when Dennis is still the guy around, you know, making plays.
The competitive drive in me, you know, has never died out. You know what I mean? Even with Dennis, you know, I tell him, hey, you know, you better look out.
You have a limited amount of time right now to dedicate yourself to this freaking team. Don't put anything in your body that's going to hurt your body. Get rest.
We're worried about Kentucky. We understand that. That's this week. But if we do the things right, you know, and keep believing, maybe more than we did, you know, 2 weeks ago, then we've got a shot to win, you know, making this season, you know, worthwhile.
Right there. Oh, you get right here. Let him be the ball. Hurry up.
After 41 years of coaching, John L. Smith keeps moving forward.
So you're not coming, are you?
I'll run up a couple times here and
there. Okay, we be running.
From Weber State to Arkansas and everywhere in between, this season can only be characterized as one of the most trying for the 63-year-old head coach. But as the Razorbacks sit at 2-4 and face a critical game against Kentucky in 2 days, you wouldn't know it by watching him.
The last lap is markedly slower than the first lap. I wonder why that is. I know this. I know I've changed. You know, I've always been accused of not having great patience and having a temper that might get out of control at times. But I've tried to control that more so as the older I get. I hope you got some good. Why are we listening to Johnny Cash? He's the only damn country star ever in the Hall of Fame that couldn't sing a note.
Get my back.
He can't sing a note.
If things aren't going good, you know, you want somebody that you can shake his hand, give him a hug, give him, you know, pat on the back, and say, you know, we're gonna get through this.
Yeah! Hell yeah!
There's always some sort of maybe a little bit of a sarcastic remark that you know he loves you, you know he cares about you, but he'll give you a hard time.
Now we got music! Hell yeah!
Canal, that's what he calls me, because the K silent just pokes fun at me.
Me and Coach Smith had a last name, so he always throws jokes at me like if I play bad or make a bad play, I'm gonna put you up for adoption. You know, he always says that.
I'm gonna kick your butt.
There you go.
We see all sides of him. You know, we see the humorous part. We see the serious part. You know, also too. You know, I think in this profession, the one thing that you have to be is yourself.
Come on, Bailey! Let's go! It's not damn walkthrough! Let's go! Get out of the end zone. Here we go. Cover 10. Let's go. There we go. There we go. Not that damn hard. Come on.
In 6 meetings all time against Kentucky, Arkansas has lost 4, including both in Fayetteville. To keep the possibility of a bowl game alive, the Razorbacks will need to duplicate the effort they showed last week at Auburn.
What you did last week correlated what we went out and did on Saturday, and that's what you got to do in practice.
The biggest thing we got to make sure that happens is you come out fast to start. Getting after them, getting after them, getting after them.
You guys in the yellow shirts, you got to come off quicker.
The main thing is just practicing hard, you know, and we've done that, you know, and not just going out there to practice hard. We got to go to the film room more and just become more of a student of the game.
We would have a fan right there chasing them right. Base reach drive, wide in the hole.
You know what your split is on this? You know? 1, 2, 3.
Take up slack and pass pro. Go meet the defender at the line of scrimmage or as close as you can to him.
You got to be fast, 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 fast. Good. You got to communicate.
Shade to the field, 3 to the boundary, 94 standing up. You got cross blitz.
If you're buying the second guy because you're the guy pressing the dive, do a good job. Just we right here to just play your eye.
We get that look right there, then we will check red Tampa.
Get each other ready. I told the coaches this morning, let's do everything we can to get our players to play their very best to win this game, and then you got 2 weeks to get better before the next game. Okay, so from right now till tomorrow night, everything you can. Do everything in your body possible to get yourself ready to play the best game you can.
Tuss is the Arkansas Razorback live mascot. All Razorback fans everywhere own him. It's kind of like us having stock in a corporation. We just get to take care of him. When he gets to the games in his custom-built 8 by 20 foot trailer, complete with sound system, heating and cooling, it's like a limousine. Pre-game, we do what we call gas station pep rallies, and that's where we stop and fuel up. People know that, and they'll come to see us off to the game. Some people will actually follow us from Russellville to the game. He looks pretty excited this morning, so I think he's got a sense something good's going to happen.
Hi everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff. Your Northwest Arkansas Weather Authority drive home forecast includes the potential for thunderstorms, so make sure you stay safe, everyone.
Storm clouds are gathering as game time nears, but the winds of change have been blowing through the Arkansas program all week, as doubt has given way to a cautious optimism.
The biggest thing for us to beat Kentucky is for us to take care of us, just like we did last week. We have to go to the field and make sure that we don't make mistakes. We have to make sure that we do things right. We have to put emphasis on us and controlling ourselves, our game plan. The rest of it will take care of itself.
Come on, low and hard, all night long. You got me? I want to see you guys bury some guys. Bury them!
Kentucky's arrival offers the Razorbacks a chance to head into their bye week with a 2-game winning streak.
Just got it. Let's go. Hey, let's get it. Let's go, baby. We got one thing to do, and that's win. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Win. Jersey means so much to him, and he wants to get this season back on track and take Arkansas to another bowl game.
The weather, to put it mildly, is deteriorating. It's okay right at the moment, 68 degrees. The winds are starting to gust a bit, and that is the precursor to a major storm, which will be arriving here very soon. So we'll keep an eye on the skies and let you know how it affects our ball game. The kickoff by Hocker, and here we go from Fayetteville. 5 yards deep in the end zone, and taking a knee is DeMarcus Sweat, and here come the Wildcats.
Quarterback counters, quarterback draws. We'll see it a lot tonight.
Pressure, and the sack. Kyle Davis is the motion man. And Tyler will test those young men in the secondary right away. A completed pass, and this may go the distance. Touchdown, Arkansas. Jonathan Williams. 74 yards. Jonathan Williams lined up in the backfield. They set Davis in motion, sent Williams down the side, and Tim, it was a big home run shot.
Here's Jonathan Williams lined up in the backfield. He's just going to get to the edge of this Kentucky defense. And first of all, it's great protection. And there's a guy out there for Kentucky, a defender. He slips and falls. And then it's just pure athletic ability by Williams, cutback ability, and he's off to the races. First play of the game. Couldn't be a better start for Arkansas. The coverages, the blitzes, the fronts, they all go hand in hand. And these young guys have to be on the same page. And that's normally where you see mishaps in the secondary, is just simply a lack of communication.
Big hole for Johnson to the Kentucky 45. First and 10. Wilson dumps it. It's complete. Over the 30 and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Morgan Linton. Wilson to throw. And it's complete to the 12-yard line. Johnson walks in, touchdown. Dennis Johnson with his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. 14-0 Arkansas.
Thing, I think he's healthy from the injury. I think it's just a mental thing where he's not trusting that foot and not trying to just lower his head and get all the yards he can get and not grind for those tough yardage.
Niall Davis. Good hard running, a 10-yard pickup on first down. Wilson has time. Bolts it complete. Down the sideline. Dive into the end zone. But out of bounds at the 6. Wilson throws. Complete. Touchdown. Dennis Johnson. Jonathan George. And again, trying to get something on the ground against Arkansas has been extremely difficult.
It really has.
Williams in motion. Wilson to throw. Sideline complete. Sidestep and gone. He's done it again. Jonathan Williams, touchdown, Razorbacks.
Same play as they ran on the first offensive play of the game, sneaking Jonathan Williams out of the backfield.
With an hour and 5-minute rain delay, but nothing has slowed up Arkansas's offense. 28-0 Razorbacks after 1. 3rd and 6. Sack. Back at the 48-yard line. Coming through is Jared Green, number 57. The senior from Little Rock with the sack. His 2nd of the year.
Protection just breaks down on Morgan Newton this time. They have the deep pass play called, and they have to wait for the routes to develop down the field, and there's just simply not enough time, not enough protection from that offensive line.
Plenty of time. Over the middle, caught. Brandon Mitchell. Dennis Johnson with a big, gaping hole. Knocked off his pins inside the 20 from the 8. Touchdown. Devontae Herndon. Tyler Wilson with his 4th touchdown pass of the night. Tyler Wilson, a quarterback for the Hawks. He was on all night to throw. Dumps this one underneath to Hamilton, his favorite receiver. Dennis Johnson with blockers in front of him. Out of bounds. 52-yard gain. Johnson, end zone, touchdown. As we come back, a punt for Kentucky. Minor will return from his 29 and breaks through. Penalty flag. Minor is gone. But there is a flag down.
a look at this, see if we can find the block in the back. I think it's going to come right here. He's trying to spring Minor right there, just to block in the back. But nice job of setting up the blocks down the field. Other than the block in the back, Minor shows a lot of speed and athleticism.
Tyler Wilson was tremendous, and the Arkansas defense never let Kentucky get a breath in that first half of play. 42-0 is our halftime score.
The slants and the fades down there, and they look for big things for him in the future.
Big high school basketball star. Niall Davis. Tight ropes that sideline. End zone, touchdown, Arkansas.
Wilson finding Julian Horton in the seam of this cover 3 zone for Kentucky. Great timing as he fits it in between the safety and the corner.
Arkansas gets a 5th touchdown pass from Tyler Wilson. Really being subjected to the elements. From the 25 for Kentucky. And a handoff to Raymond Sanders. And smacked down at the 26-yard line.
For the wide receiving core, but Whitlow, you see him hesitate just a little bit in the pocket, but he's still able to put enough velocity on that throw, and that's very encouraging for a young quarterback to recognize situations. You know you're in a 3rd and 5 situation, the defense is in a cover 2, they're playing that flat where you're initially trying to get the ball to the slot receiver just to get a first down, and he sees the corner squatting out in the flat, and he's able to take the ball over the top for a big touchdown for Kentucky.
So for Jalen Whitlow, his first touchdown pass. Here's our Crystal game summary with Kentucky now breaking the shutout 49-7. The total yards, Arkansas has rolled up 524 tonight, now 170 for Kentucky. And congratulations to Jalen Whitlow. This true freshman finds the senior, Lerod King. Welcome back to Fayetteville as this game has been called. The final score is Arkansas 49 and Kentucky 7. You're looking at a shot underneath the stadium here as the officials are getting ready to exit the stadium. The game has been terminated in the 3rd quarter due to all the inclement weather.
With 5:08 remaining in the 3rd quarter and Arkansas leading 49-7, the game is called for safety reasons. Johnson finishes with 82 yards on 12 carries and 2 touchdowns, plus another one receiving. Davis rushes 13 times for 68 yards. The Razorbacks' 2nd consecutive victory is in the books.
Anybody can just give in and throw the towel in. You know, that's what I appreciate about everybody in this organization is keep clawing and keep fighting, and things turn out your way.
They've grown by leaps and bounds the last 2 weeks. It's just it's fun to watch. It's really fun as a coach to see young guys just keep climbing that ladder and getting better and better. But they've been awesome. We maintained our focus at the break, as you might call it, and then came back and continued right on where we were. So proud of our guys. Now we have to just continue on, get better.